let's talk about Cam Ward. Cam Ward quit on his team? That's the big news here from this Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I'm sorry. First, can we first talk about how ridiculous that is? The Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like there's literally a mascot dressed as a Pop-Tart that goes down to this big toaster, and then a big Pop-Tart comes out, and the winning team's eating from it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
And how happy that Pop-Tart is to jump into the flame.
You know how like players opt out of the bowl games all the time? I would opt out of that for that reason alone.
I would opt right in. Like, give me that sugar.
BS, okay? Not going to be part of it. But Cam Ward, first off, let's talk about him in the game because, goddamn, that was a very good game by him, at least the first half. 12 of 19, 190 yards and 3 touchdowns in that first half. He literally sets the NCAA record, Division I career record for passing touchdowns. Like, that's a big, impressive record to get. He then declined to play in the second half. Let me just put that. He declined to play in the second half. Even as his team was losing by 1 point with less than 1 minute to play in the game, he stood on the sidelines.
That's a bad look.
Wow.
Like, I get, and there's multiple arguments you can take with this because, yeah, he just went out there and showed the NFL and all the teams his worth. And then said, I'm going to protect my health. I'm going to sit on the sidelines.
I'm making a business decision.
That's 100% what that was. But you're also a leader of a team that needed you.
It's a bad look when you set the record and then you just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like that's
literally the epitome of the mic drop.
Yeah. Now, here's the other thing about it, interesting, and I didn't see this till today, and we were going to talk about this actually yesterday until all this talk we had about the game yesterday. I heard the interview, post-game interview with the head coach, and he was asked, was this the plan to sit Cam Ward in the second half? And he said, I'm going to go ahead and keep those conversations private.
Which means no.
Now, I don't want to sit there and say maybe that's a rule he has. Maybe he's because some guys are like that. Maybe it's a rule of like, let's keep everything private. Let's keep everything in house. Anybody who's a Miami fan can let me know if that's what it normally is. I don't pretend to be enough of a college football fan to know the ins and outs of the way the Miami head coach does conversations with players. You know?
Yeah, I you're right. Some coaches will play that, be like, listen,
yeah,
anything that happens during the season will not be discussed during the season. It will be discussed after the season if we get to it.
That's just the way it goes. I mean, some of them you can literally say, does he like ice in his water? Oh, or keep those conversations in house. Like that's sometimes that's just the way some coaches are.
Yeah.
And that's them trying to respect their players. So, but it's a weird look in that scenario specifically to say that because it's like he knows what's going on. And he could have bailed him out and said, listen, I don't talk about things usually. I'm going to keep this simple. We discuss this ahead of time, and we're going to move on from this topic. That would have killed everything right there.
Yep.
And he chose not to do that. So to me, that tells me that it probably was not planned. Now, there's a couple of things that I thought about in this. One, is it worse is it worse or better than the people that opt out entirely of playing in the games? Like, how many players make business decisions, don't even play in the bowl game at all?
It's better to love and lost than to never have loved at all. Go out there, play part of the game, and then quit.
I just wonder. I mean, he could have sat out the whole game. He wouldn't have gotten the record. He could have sat out the whole game, and nobody would have said a goddamn thing if he sat out the whole game. So what is worse, not going in the whole game or doing the first half?
The worst part is you leave winning, and then you're struggling.
That's where the part of the problem becomes. The second part I thought about this was, did he basically, for all intents and purposes, abandon his teammates?
And that's a discussion that adds on everyone's mind. Because, like, you can say it's a business decision. And like it could have been, I'm going to ball after the first half, and then I'm going to.
But it's stop. Like, again, he could have not played at all, and that's where I'm kind of like so torn in this whole thing, because it's like it's let's be honest, okay, does it really matter at all? Because it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It's not the goddamn national championship game. It's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. There's a goddamn strawberry Pop-Tart person coming out of a toaster oven.
I bet it was delicious.
I don't want to know. It just creeps me out. Like you're like eating a bird person, basically. But I'm just saying, like, that's, like I said, I feel like I get both sides of this argument. I really do. Because it's like, part of me goes, oh, goddamn, you got to abandon this whole team. It's goddamn messed up. Like, why would you do that? And the part of me, like, why am I so worked up over the goddamn Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Yeah.
And at least he played the first half. But a lot of guys don't play it all.
And no one's talking about this. Maybe he set purposely. This way he wouldn't give his teams diabetes when they had to go eat the Pop-Tart.
Diabetes. I mean, they lost, like I said, 1 point. They lost 42-41. By the way, Emory Williams, who's their backup quarterback, went 5 for 14 with 26 yards and 1 interception in that second half. Now, this tells me alone one of two things. Either Cam Ward's goddamn amazing or Emory Williams is goddamn trash.
I mean, it could be Lacan A, Con B.
It probably is.
Or, I mean, if he shuts down, like, and doesn't play this, the rest of the team just lose that juice, if you will.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like I said, I think this is much ado about nothing in my eyes. Like, I think when we do our final evaluation of quarterbacks, I don't think that's going to come up for me as an issue, this whole thing.
No.
I think the only way it would is if something else came out. Like, teammates came out and said point blank, you abandoned us. You know, a coach came out and said point blank that we never had this plan. I was screwed once he left. That's the only thing that would make me pull this back up again and go, hold on a second here. I got to circle back. You know, but like I said, I don't think it's that big of a deal because it wasn't a national championship game and plenty of players don't play it. And I get why you get a little bit like, whoa, like, why do you think you're going to play the first half? But it is better to play the first half than to play nothing at all.
Because imagine how bad they would get.
Oh my God. Destroyed.
Destroyed. If Williams could, what do you go for 50 yards, 52 yards?
Let's say we lost 42-3.
Yeah. What's a better game?
Yeah. No, like I said, I'm there with you. I really am.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.